this evening?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Ball. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Garrett. And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Ms. Perkins, would you care to give us the certification for executive session this evening?
Madam Chair, I move to certify that to the best of our knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion to go into executive session were heard, discussed, or considered in executive session.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Okay. We'll stand for the pledge. Mr. Parsons, would you care to lead us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Chair, before we actually hold the occasion, with this being the first meeting since the senseless assassination of Charlie Kirk last month, I'd suggest that we have a moment of silence to observe a moment of silence in remembrance of honor of Charlie Kirk, who was followed in his Christian faith and true faith.
Yes.
We can do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Okay, Dr. Hooker?
Yes, ma'am. At this time, would anyone like to address the board?
Let's have a word of prayer. Dear gracious and all-wise God, as we bow today in the loving name of His Son, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, we want to thank you, God, for the blessings that you bestowed upon our lives, our country, our state. Thank you, dear Lord, for all that you've done for us. Most of all, for saving our soul. We ask you, God, that you give us all wisdom, dear Lord, to do the right thing, say the right thing. Dear Lord, give us favor in the eyes, dear Lord, of each man, woman, boy, and girl, but most of all, let us obtain favor in your eyes. God, watch over us, lead us and guide us, as Mr. Gibson said a while ago about Charlie Kirk. Dear Lord, let us be a Christian, Lord, that what we believe, that we're not only just willing to live for, but we're willing to die for it. Forgive us, Lord, where we failed you, God. Would you remember the lost, remember the sick, remember all your children. Dear Lord, we try to always pray that thy will be done. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Diamond. Okay, we have some individuals here this evening, I think, that may want to come and speak to the board, so I would like to do a little bit of reminder. Before we begin our public comment, I'd like to remind everyone that each speaker would like to limit you to 3 minutes. This ensures that all individuals who wish to speak have an opportunity to be heard. And when you come to the podium, I would ask that you state your name clearly for our record, and I would kindly ask that you conclude your remarks when the time is up. And I would further add, if you have comment, that you would refrain from naming students and as well our employees. If you need to comment about other students and employees, that would need to be taken care of with board members in executive, because I think that would just be a better way of doing things. Okay, Dr. Hooker.
Anyone else like to address the board?
You may have. I've got an Andrea Hale listed, if you'd like to come forth. Thank you, Ms. Hale. You're welcome to go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Andrea Hale. My children attend Honecker Elementary School. Since the beginning of the school year, my 10-year-old has come home almost daily complaining about the same boy who keeps bullying him, being both verbally and physically abusive. The teachers have reported to the office multiple times a week, and I, as his parent, am never notified. The other child has continued to go on unpunished. On Tuesday, September 23rd, Anakin reported that the same bully told him to go kill himself. I immediately called the assistant principal. I have emailed him in the past regarding the bullying with no response until I had to actually call and speak to him personally. This time, he put the principal on the phone. She told me that she gave the boys assigned seats at lunch. That was it. That's the only thing that was done. I told her that this boy has been harassing my son nonstop and yet gets zero consequences. And now he's telling my kid to take his own life. I expressed to the principal that I was upset that I had not been contacted regarding these situations, and she acted like it was unusual for a parent to want to know when her child is being attacked. I want to know what she would have done if my child had listened. If a child took their life after so much bullying, what would she say then when she knew all along that something was going on and did not tell the child's parents? That blood would then be on her hands. I told the principal that I want that boy suspended or I will be taking this to the school board. She assured me that she would handle it. He is still in my son's class. Once again, nothing has been done. The message that these adults are telling to the children is that a bully can keep hurting people and that they do not care what happens to the children being abused. They are telling these kids that actions do not have consequences. And they are teaching the children that need protection that not only do they not have rights, but no one is coming to help them. This is not what I expected moving into a small town where everyone looks out for everyone. I expected a small town which values family and community to take better care of the coming generation. Since going public about my outrage at the lack of action at Honeacre Elementary, I have received countless messages from parents expressing how their child has been bullied and were punished for defending themselves while the bully remained unpunished. We as parents should be able to trust that when our children go to school, they will be safe. Not only is their physical safety not being a priority, but their emotional safety is in grave jeopardy. We shouldn't have to tell administration that our children are important. If they didn't understand this already, then they're in the wrong field. Going forward, I want to see changes made, and I plan to see them through. I would like to form a PTA. We need communication, and we need to be on the same team. A child who physically and intentionally hurts another child should be sent home immediately. A child who threatens to inflict bodily harm or death or tell a child to commit suicide should be suspended and permanently removed from that classroom. Children who feel safe learn better. We as parents and you as leaders need to do better. We need to do right by our children, because if we fail them now, we fail as a community and ultimately as a nation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hill. Our next person is McKenna. Have her right there.
Good evening. My name is McKenna, and I'm a student at King University pursuing my bachelor's in criminology and psychology. I'm here tonight because my brother's been experiencing repeated bullying at school. He's been shoved into desks, told to commit suicide, and made to feel unsafe in a place that's supposed to protect him. What makes this worse is that he's been told that he has no right to defend himself, and the administration has refused to notify parents or take meaningful steps to stop it. I'm speaking today because silence is not an option when a child's safety and future are on the line. I'd first like to emphasize what research has made very clear. Early experiences shape who children become. Trauma in childhood, whether physical or emotional, does not simply disappear. It rewires your brain. It increases the risk of depression, anxiety, PTSD, and even physical health problems later in life. This trauma may increase vulnerability to future risk behaviors and involvement with the justice system. When children are subjected to trauma in school, they are not just being hurt in the moment. They're being set up for lifelong struggles. Second, bullying itself is not just kids being kids. It has profound effects. Children who are bullied face higher risks of self-harm, suicidal thoughts, academic decline, and lifelong trust issues. My brother deserves better than to be told to simply endure it. Every student deserves better than that. And lastly, when adults in positions of authority refuse to take action, the message is clear. The bully's behavior is acceptable, and the victim's pain is not worth addressing. That silence doesn't just affect the kids being bullied. It teaches every other student watching that cruelty will be tolerated. It teaches victims that their voices don't matter. That is a dangerous and damaging lesson. Is that the lesson we want to teach our children? The lesson we want to teach the future of our countries? So what should be done? At the very least, the school must acknowledge that this behavior is happening and communicate honestly with parents. There must be clear and enforced consequences for bullying, not just for the student being targeted, but for the entire school climate. Teachers and staff need training to recognize and intervene effectively. And most importantly, students must be taught they have the right to feel safe, to be respected, and to stand up for themselves when that safety is threatened. Prevention and intervention in childhood is not just about protecting kids in that moment, but about safeguarding their futures. Our earliest years lay the foundation for much of our adult lives. And the experiences we go through, both good and bad, can leave lasting marks that shape our mental health, relationships, and the paths we take in society. I'm asking you guys tonight to act, not just for my brother, but for every student who's enduring this in silence. The long-term costs of ignoring bullying are far greater than the short-term discomfort of addressing it. Please show our students that their lives, their safety, and their futures matter. Thank you, guys.
Excuse me, have you gotten with the principal at your school where your brother attends?
This is my daughter. Yes, that's her daughter.
Okay. Yes, okay. And your number is good, that's on the paper?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And I agree, we do not want bullies in our schools, and I wouldn't want it for my kids or grandkids.
Your number to reach out.
And I don't expect the
Okay,
kids
it's her
to
sister.
do nothing if they're being
It's her.
picked on or
Okay.
In Russell County, you have a right to defend yourself.
So Andrea,
But here's the problem, we have resource officers that are standing at the school and they're killing victims. That
it's,
if you act out, if
ma'am,
you hit back, if you defend yourself, that you're going to be charged. And it
ma'am,
scares these children into thinking they're not allowed to defend themselves.
you can come to the podium and address the board with your name, and we'll be glad to hear you.
Yes, my name is Angela Ellis, and my child has been a victim at not only Castlewood Elementary School, but at Lebanon Elementary School, and now he's in Castlewood High School, in which case I have repetitively, since the beginning of the year, had to contact the principal, had to contact Jamie Dixon at the bus garage multiple times over having videos watched, because my 10th grade student, my highly ADHD, autistic child, is being bullied. My child bothers no one. He sits with his headphones on. He bothers no one. If it's not directly his neighbor or his brother, he speaks to no one. And then you have kids that are sitting here and they think it's funny to throw stuff at him until they finally get him to say, hey, stop, quit, just to get a reaction out of him. And I'm repetitively calling and filing reports. And I'm getting told, oh, they're getting assigned seats. Oh, they're in the elementary. I can't do nothing here. I don't care which school they go to. It doesn't matter. A parent should not have to call on a weekly basis. And when they do speak up for themselves, then, oh, they're the irrational one. Because, well, they've tried everything y'all's way. They've tried telling a teacher. They've tried talking to the principal. They've tried talking to counselors. And when you've got counselors that are sitting at your school and counseling children on how to ignore their bully, that in itself is a joke. And then you've got resource officers that are sitting there telling children that you can't defend yourself because if you hit back, you're going to be charged with assault charges. The resource officers themselves are intimidating and bullying these children into thinking that they're not allowed to defend themselves. And I said, no, sir, you will not tell my child this. Because my child has, under the Constitution of the United States, gives him the federal right to defend himself against all harm, foreign and domestic. That is anyone. And if he's being bullied, if he's being assaulted, now I'm a firm believer, I teach my children to ignore words. It is just words. Now, I understand certain things cannot be ignored. Certain things that when they are said to your child, those are very damaging. They absolutely are. And there are certain words that cannot be ignored. And however, I do my best to teach my children to ignore what is being said to them, unless they are hemmed in a corner, unless they have no other option to physically defend themselves. My children are instructed not to do so. But I will not sit idly by while Russell County staff members and Russell County resource officers are telling my child that you can't defend yourself when someone physically is hitting you, especially after 2.5 months worth of them going and telling teachers every day, and them telling principals and vice principals and counselors, and them getting told that, oh, well, we didn't see it, we can't do nothing about it. Excuse me, does our tax dollars not pay for cameras in that school? You're telling me you can't pull up a camera? And on top of that, why do we have children being left out in the hallways without supervision? It shouldn't be happening. You shouldn't have children between 5th, 6th, 7th grade that are being sent to walk themselves from in a whole group class, or sometimes 2 classes or more at a time, between classroom to outdoors to PE, or from the classroom to the gym, or classroom to the cafeteria. They shouldn't be left to walk themselves. And this happens over and over. When those are the worst age groups for bullying. 5th, 6th, 7th, and well up. It proceeds on up. I'm not saying that it's limited to these age groups, but these are the most likely grades to have bullying going on. And then these teachers are just sitting there, sitting in their desk, just telling the kids, go walk yourself to art class, go walk yourself to PE, whatever. And then when you got a kid coming back and pleading with the teacher, hey, I need help, so-and-so's hitting me, so-and-so won't leave me alone, him and his friends are ganging up on me, they're not letting me, get to class. And the teacher's like, oh, well, we didn't see nothing, or, oh, we'll tell the principal, but then they don't even bother to tell the principal. And you're having stuff happening repetitively, and like they mentioned, that there's not even parents are not even being notified. To find out the amount of times that my child had physical contact made to him.
Okay, Ms. Ellis, I think your time is,
It's a lack of staff.
If our kids are walking by themselves, something.
Okay, we'll listen.
I would like to ask Mr. Compton if he would, if you have it available, or you could pull it up there.
Yes, Madam Chair.
The JFC, the bullying policy. It might be a good refresher for everyone, parents, students, staff, everybody, to listen
Staff
to
and
it.
RSOs, if they were telling them that,
Right.
if they're
Ma'am, specifically to address your statement about being advised that they're not allowed to self-defense, this is available to the general public. This is on the Russell County the board's docs and the public site. And it states, and this is policy JFC, student conduct, last revised this past July. And it talks about bullying and harassing different things. But in there, under self-defense, whether a student acted in self-defense is considered when the student's conduct is evaluated for disciplinary action. So that means that your child is allowed to defend themselves. Virginia state law states that you have the right to have reasonable force to repel the attack upon you. That is Virginia law. And before any discipline is handed down against your child, the school, under policy, shall consider if the child was acting in self-defense. So if anybody has misinformed the children, they should refresh themselves. If parents were unaware, I do suggest everybody read the policy manual. There is quite a bit of information in there. Anything else, Madam Chair?
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate you, bringing that to everybody's attention. Could we have Carrie Bradshaw next?
Good evening, everybody. Madam Chair, members of the board, committee members. Please bear with me, I've been all over the weather, so my voice is a little weak and a little low. My name is Katie Edwards Bradshaw. I'm a proud alumni of Lebanon High School, class of 2014. I'm here tonight alongside students and community supporters to request your guidance and support as we work to establish Turning Point USA student chapter at Lebanon, Castlewood, and Huntington High School. Turning Point USA's mission is to identify, educate, train, and organize students to promote the principles of freedom, free markets, and limited government. We believe that these chapters will provide our students with valuable opportunities for civic engagement, leadership development, and constructive dialogue, always within the same policies and standards as every other student organization within their school scope. At this stage, we are focused entirely on building a solid foundation. The national organization provides the starting materials free of charge, and we are not conducting any fundraising or accepting donations at this time. The priority is to move through the proper channels and to ensure these chapters are approved and established correctly. The request tonight is simple: to seek the board's blessing in moving forward with this process, and to ask for any additional requirements, forms, or guidance that students will need to complete the new club charters within the West County Public Schools. I look forward to working with the administration, faculty sponsors, and the board to ensure these student organizations are transparent, compliant, and a positive addition to our schools and community. Thank you for your consideration.
Well, thank you so much for coming this evening.
I 100% support it.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate you on this out. In addition, I have a letter from the Russell County Republican Committee in support, and I've included my statements tonight for the minutes.
You want to give it to me, Karen? I can make a copy for them.
Absolutely.
And if you need anything, we can discuss anything.
I'll put my contact information on the bottom end, that way,
Okay,
anything you guys can get to me, I'll
okay,
get it.
okay. Sure.
Thank you so much.
Have you contacted Turning Point?
Yep, we started out materials for innovation, so we've got that in the works.
You give Ms. Hooker, she can, time to do it. Well, like I said, have,
I'll look at
in every school, in all schools, all three
all
schools.
three schools. That's the goal.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming.
Okay. Ms. Wonderberg. Good evening.
I just wanted to come up first of all and tell you all, we know there was some turmoil and so forth. There were some questions about Mark coming into the schools. But this tonight is why Mark comes into the schools. I know Dr. Hooker came on Monday. I wish everybody would come and listen to him, because you would have heard him talk harshly and a lot about bullying in the schools. He really wants to do what he can. By the time he left Lebanon, which was the first school he went to, he was already having messages pop into his phone. He answers every message. I know if he gets messages that there's anybody that's going to harm themselves, he tries to report that as quick as he can. But like Friday night at the football game, there was a youngster that came up to Randy and he said, "It was you." And Randy said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "It was you and your wife that helped bring him into my school today." And he said, "I want to know why. Why would you bring him into the school?" And Randy said, "Because if it stops one child from doing anything that I've done or he's done that'll take you down the wrong path, to tell you to stay away from friends that are not going to be good for you, to know what to do when you're being bullied." He said, if it's one child that gets taken care of and helped, it's worth every dime that gets spent on this. I appreciate the fact, I know it was a little bit muddled this year, but we appreciate the fact that you let him come in. He loves to come to Southwest Virginia. And if you're in the schools, or if any of you had kids that listened to him, I don't think there was a child there that didn't come up and try to thank him and talk to him and everything else, because for some reason, they relate to him, and I don't know what it is, but there's something about him that he does. Hopefully we can bring him back again. I know, not next year, but hopefully we can. But guys, we gotta do everything we can to bring positive messages into the schools. Whoever can come in and bring a positive message. Y'all said you were gonna go a different direction. I hope you do. And if there's anything we can do to help, we would surely help. But we need to bring all the positive into the schools, because these kids are up against things that we never were up against. Nobody. I heard about the little girl with Bridgelands today. That's heartbreaking. We should not ever lose a child due to this. So we gotta do what we can as a county,
as schools, as members of the board, to do whatever we gotta do to help every one of these kids, no matter what they're facing, because we don't have a clue what they're going through at home. Most kids are not gonna come in and tell you. They're not gonna tell you. They're gonna keep it inside, and then, like Mark said, that just erupts, and at some point, when that eruption goes, it's not gonna be good. So again, I do say thank you for letting us bring him in, and I hope it was worth it to anybody that heard him, but I appreciate what y'all did.
Thank you, Ms. Green.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you. Okay, we've got Angela Street listed.
My name is Angela Street.
Thank you, Ms. Street.
I'm here to speak out on the bullying as well. I do want to make a comment first. Your comment at the beginning of the meeting that you don't think we should bring out staff members' names. I understand we don't bring out students' names. But if these staff members don't want to be painted in a bad light, then they don't need to be acting that way. They need to be held accountable. It don't need to be swept under the rug and their name can hush hush. This needs to be brought out.
Excuse me. If you need to address particulars, we are glad to hear it. We will go back into executive and you can
No,
tell.
it needs to be for the public. I'm not the only one that has kids at these schools.
Well,
These parents have the right to know. That shouldn't be held secret. Now, I'm sorry, I disagree on that. I don't have any names to call tonight. I did at my last meeting. And you tried to shut me up 2 or 3 different times.
No, I don't want to shut no one up, excuse me.
And then I have another comment on something that the gentleman here said, that students, as far as the bullying policy, that the staff will investigate and then before they do issue punishment. I know that's a lie, because that happened to my son. That happened when he was going to Lebanon High, and he got in a fight on the school bus. We were notified, there was video, they would not allow us to watch the video. They did inform us there was no sound on it because the kids on the bus were being too loud. Nobody at that school offered to even call us and talk to us and ask us what happened. They never spoke to my child to ask him what happened, and they put him through the court system, and he got on juvenile probation, and he had to do 5 months of community service, or 5 hours of community service, and he was on probation for 6 months. And if he got in any more trouble, he would have been brought back up on assault charges. So I know that's not true, because it happened to my child. And that's not right. And the whole issue of the fight was over he had been bullied for over a year. This crap needs to stop. These kids in this school deserve better than what they're getting. I was here just in May, and I want to ask each one of you. I spoke back in May on kids that defend themselves being punished, and it was brought up. I think maybe you may have said that you wanted the policy to be checked into about kids not being punished if all they were doing was defending themselves. I want to ask you, what's been done since May?
July.
That policy was in July.
That was changed in July, so the
Exactly.
kids don't get punished if they
They
don't.
will investigate it. If they were defending themselves, they will investigate that, and it'll be considered in the punishment, so
Okay.
yes.
My concern on this is, back in May, whenever I had to come, and my son got in a fight, but he wasn't the one started it, he had jumped in. And he did fight back. There was no really, as far as the principals go, there was no investigation done. And they spoke to both boys, and my son at first was suspended as well. Both boys got the same punishment. And I had to come to Miss Hooker, and she seen, because I got a video of it, because another kid had videoed the whole thing. And I had physical proof for myself that he was attacked. And so therefore that punishment got took away from my son. But there still needs to be, it's like there's no investigation when something goes on. These staff members at these schools, they need to be held accountable when they're not doing their job. If they're not doing what they're paid to be there to do, they need out of there. If you all as a board are not gonna stand up and support our children and keep our kids safe when they have to be at school, then we either need to get our kids out of this school system, or you all need, the ones that ain't gonna do nothing, resign and get somebody in here that will. Because this is getting ridiculous. I've been dealing with this since my son was second grade. He's a junior.
Ms. Street,
Enough's enough.
I appreciate you coming, and if you need to address more issues with your son, is he still in school?
He is, he's a junior this
He's
year.
a junior.
He
If you
is.
have any more issues, please address it with Dr. Hooker, and if you don't get satisfaction with her, I suggest you come to executive session and let it be known, and the board will.
That or I'll pull him out altogether, because I'm pretty fed up. I'm done. If something doesn't change for these kids in this county's gonna have a world mess. These kids deserve better than what they're getting, not just mine, all of them.
Absolutely.
I appreciate your coming, and again, I'm hoping the very best for your son as a junior, and we hope that we can do him his junior year, and hopefully we can give him a nice deployment when he's a senior. But if you have any further issues at all, right here is who you need to, you bring it to your principal, there's some protocol, and if you don't get it done there, you bring it to Dr. Hooker. If you don't get it taken care of there, this board, we want to hear your problem, and we will take it right back there, and we will address wherever it goes. Other children, staff, but we're here to represent everybody. And we have to look at all the students, and we have to try to support our staff. But if there needs to be something done with staff, we will get it taken care of.
Okay.
We want our kids safe. We want everybody to get a good education, and we want it to be a good experience. I mean, school should be one of the best times of our children's lives.
It should be, yes.
It should be,
Yes. And that's what that's our goal. I mean, that's what we want. When I went to school, I loved it. I looked forward to it. I was the only child. So I loved being able to be with,
My son's an only child and he hates school.
and he
Hates
hates,
to go.
right.
Dreads it every day.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, but I
I
don't
will
mean.
say, Angie, me and you've talked before.
Yeah.
And as I, Ms. Hale here, we don't know unless you tell us, unless you go through and it has to go through the proper channels.
Yeah,
But we can't just look and say, well, Angie said this happened to Canaan.
yeah.
So we have to look at everything, so I just want y'all to know that we are looking at it.
The sad thing is, Christie,
We file a complaint with, principals, if we talk to them, why should we have to be going out here and notifying everybody? Isn't that their job to communicate with you?
We're looking at everything. We are.
That's what I'm saying, like.
Okay, we gotta move on.
the sad thing, Christie, is whenever all of these different instances happen, I did come before the board. You weren't a board member then, at that time. And nothing still ever got done. Nothing really changed. It never changed anything. I've been to this board, I can't tell you the amount of times since he was in second grade. And it's done absolutely no good. And it was even before Dr. Hooker's time. When I went to her, she's helped me with my situation. She has, and I appreciate it. But it don't always, even coming to the board doesn't always get it done.
Thank you, Ms. Street. Pat Music.
Mine's something different, if you wanna go ahead, I'll be at the last.
Oh, you're fine. You go ahead and address it. We've taken care of different things, whatever you have.
Well, as you all know, Pat Music, I'm a bus driver. I'm here about sub-drivers. Our list, I have no driver available to drive. In the last 2 years, I know that I've taken a half a day off. I might have took
a day and a half because we had no subs. I contacted every one of you back in March and told you we had no subs. I told Jody today, I said, I'd like to have off October the 31st. Well, I've got one that's out on 6 weeks leave, another one on the 6-week leave. I don't have anybody. I asked for half a day off. We have no service. You all need to do something. You had 2 good drivers that left this year. One of them, for 2 years, had begged for help. Nothing was done to help. Somebody wanted routes took away. They took one away. That put more on me. I'm not complaining about that. But now you have issues with children doing stuff. I have nowhere to put them. I need car seats on my bus. I don't have room for them. Or I have to put my kids back with the high school, which is already sitting to a seat. Like I said, you had 2 good drivers because of you taking routes away, left. Money, it's all about money. Y'all give $280-some thousand back to the Board of Supervisors. Christie, I know me and you talked. You told me. You were told that we were the highest, one of the highest paying counties around for sub drivers. I called the counties around. I have it, I emailed Christie the information. We're next to the bottom in sub pay for our drivers. So I'm here tonight to let you all know, on October the 31st, PM Run, Bus 21 will be sitting on Homemaker's Lot. If there's not a driver there, it's not going to be me because I need a day off. I have the days. I have more than enough days. But you all don't have any sub-drivers for us. And it's, I mean, like I said, in 2 years, I've taken a day and a half off because there was no drivers. Something's got to be done, and I'm told nobody wants to work. I know that, but if you would give more pay, there might be people willing to pay. I mean, to work. And I'm here to ask for help for your drivers, because the ones that of us that do work, it's just like the beginning of the year. I'm packing kids in, 2, 3 to a seat. I got off the bus and I told my husband, I said, I'm looking for another job, and I am very serious this time. So you're looking at losing another driver. I won't say that I'm good, but I get my job done, and I do it to the best of my ability. So I'm asking for your help.
Thank you, Pat.
Okay, does anyone else like to address the board?
I would. I'm sorry that this is my first time here, so.
Sure, you can come on in.
Come forward.
I don't know the protocol.
What's your name, please?
My name is Deborah Dye.
Deborah Dunn, okay. Go ahead, Ms. Dunn.
I have a child that attends Homemaker Elementary.
Okay.
I'm sorry I'm a little emotional, but I'm mad. My child is 6 years old. He's autistic and he's nonverbal. Last Monday, I went to pick my child up from school, and a different individual other than his age brought him out to me. So I asked her, I said, why are you bringing my son to me? And she's like, I don't know. Why don't you know? You know, she's like, well, he was brought to us. So on Tuesday, my son rides a handicap bus. So on Tuesday morning, I asked the handicap bus driver, I'm like, why do you guys have my son? And she's like, I don't know. you know, why is my son being brought to you for me to pick up? And she's like, I don't know. Okay, why don't you know? She's like, well, he was brought to us starting at 2:10 every day now. I'm like, why? She's like, I don't know. So she's like, if you have any questions, you need to call the school and ask certain individuals. So I called, I sent a message to Hunter Elementary, one of their staff members, and I asked them, I said, can you please call me? I said, I'd like to discuss my son with you. And she said, okay. I said, why is my son being placed in this class now? She said, because he's defiant. I said, what is he being defiant about? Because he doesn't want to go down the hall and go outside and play. So therefore, at 2:10, he is taken and put into a seclusion class. So he doesn't have recess anymore. Because he doesn't want to go outside and play. He doesn't want to go down that hallway. That's wrong. My child deserves to go outside and play just like any other child in this school district.
Ms. Dye,
Don't take that away.
Ms. Dye, would you care to come and
Now, put your number.
put your phone number down here? I just now wrote your name down. We'll get that addressed.
Can I finish?
Sure. Yeah. We just need your number so that Dr. Hooker can get with you. Go ahead.
So it was brought to my attention, I questioned why, that my son is no longer allowed to go outside and play with all the other kids. And they said that he is defiant and that he is also disruptive in the class. Mind you, he's autistic. He's nonverbal. He can't tell you. The only word he knows is no. Even when he means yes, it's no.
It's no.
But he gets up and he walks around and around in circles. Autistic kids do that. That is a part of autism. You have to deal with it. It was the choice to put him in classes with normal kids. I want him to be treated just like any other child. Because he gets up and walks around in a class, I'm sorry, but that's who he is. That's what he does. He doesn't know no different. Don't treat my child differently. It's not fair to him. He deserves all the opportunity that any other kid gets. Don't take his recess away from him. He's 6 years old. He doesn't understand why that he cannot go outside and play no more. It's not fair.
I'm not interrupting you, but it needs to be addressed.
Yes,
and
ma'am. Please do.
Our staff will get with you tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Farmer and Ms. Hooker.
Anyone else like to address the board?
I just got a question.
Sure.
How come everything's gonna be done in executive session? Everybody in this county ran on the word transparency. Transparency does not take place in any of the 3 executive sessions, y'all, the town, or the county. If you want us to be out here where the parents can see what's going on, why not do it out here? We wanna know what's going on for the kids. We don't even have kids, but we love them to death. But they deserve to know what's going on. Why does it have to be executive session? And that's what you keep saying. We'll take you to executive session.
Okay. Mr. Nick, would you like to address them?
And the reason is because pursuant to code, that certain people and individuals, specifically children, have a right of privacy. And as such, that information is not to be disseminated to the public. I'm sure that you would not want your child discussed openly and before the entire school system or community, since it's on video, that your child is having a disciplinary action or that there is something involved. Further, if you look at the code, and I've quoted the code to individuals here today, under the Freedom of Information Act, certain things are listed in the law to be discussed in executive action, particularly if you're talking about discipline for staff. Staff, teachers specifically listed, has a right to be present in executive session to address the grievance, because not everything is founded, not everything comes back as being actionable. However, in the public eye, many times people are convicted with just on public opinion with the parents. So to protect that, that's why that is done.
I agree. Now, my kids, I guess I'm a bad dad. When my kids done something wrong, hey, guess what? Bring it in front of the world and see the punishment they got too.
My wife
Because
whipped,
I believe
my wife whipped her kids at school as a teacher.
So everybody spared the rod, spoil the child. My kids got it.
But that is something, that is an individual decision. The board doesn't have that luxury. The law has certain restrictions, and obviously, they would expose themselves to action. Well, you may agree with that, I may agree with that. If they were to do that for somebody, a third person, then, as a citizen of the community, you may end up paying lawyers' fees to defend this board for an action when they could just easily prevent it by following the code.
That's what she said, it changed, but you know what changed? Now we got school shootings. When you used to whip them in school and could do all this and stuff, we didn't have school shootings. When I was in high school days, every truck in the parking lot had a gun in their back windshield.
I was in school at the same time.
And you never even thought about shooting nobody, you just
Never
thought,
did. Teachers borrow pocket knives.
bring back the past.
But unfortunately, that is not this board's ability to do. The board does not have that, so I suggest everybody, be active in your community at your local, state, and federal level. And that way, those policies can change. But, when I advise the board to protect them and, as a citizen, from lawsuits because, they don't need to be taking action that would subject this county to paying a large bill and a large settlement. Because the only way that school systems get money is taxes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Burke and Mr. Kemp.
Anyone else? I think you're good, Madam Chair.
Okay, thanks for everyone, and we have any adjustments to the agenda tonight, Dr. Hooker?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. I need a motion that we approve and finalize the agenda for tonight.
I'll make that motion, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Parsons, and thank you, Ms. Perkins. Okay, do I have a motion that we approve the minutes of last month?
Yeah, vote to finalize the agenda.
Yeah, okay, the vote for the finalized agenda, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any comment? Okay, the minutes of September the 2nd, 2025. Do I have a motion that we approve those minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Ball. Do we have a second?
Thank
Thank you, Mr. Parsons, and all in favor?
you.
Aye. Okay, Dr. Hooker, we're to the recognitions for tonight.
Okay, I would like to ask Mr. Mullins to please come forward to help recognitions. Usually Ms. McCoy does this, but she is under the weather. So we're glad to have Mr. Mullins.
Thank you, Board. Tonight, we're here to also recognize spring All-State athletes from Lebanon High School. This time, I'd like to ask Mr. Ryan Potts, Principal of Lebanon High, to come forward. A little bit delayed with recognitions, but we've got some very big accomplishments here. And I'd like to ask the parents of Caitlin Morrison and Chayden Music, please come forward, along with those student athletes. Oh, okay. And before we get started, I'd like to ask Mr. Potts and Coach Sam Jones. I'm sorry, Sam. Forgot about that. Coach Sam Jones is here. Dennis Price, the other coach, he had a volleyball game tonight, could be with us. So ask Mr. Jones if he would speak a few words about these ladies.
Oh, of course. On behalf of Coach Price, who's currently coaching volleyball right now, and the rest of the team, we appreciate Dr. Hooker and the board having us out and recognizing them. Last year, I believe we went 20-4 for the year, which was pretty good. Ended up bowing out the first round of the state, which we hope to go a little bit farther this year. We had a great run and had a couple of great players. It's an honor for them to make an all-state team. To do that, you have to make all district, all region, to even be up there for all-state. So first we've got Chaden Music.
Selection to the 2025 VHSL Class 2 Softball All-State Team, second team pitcher.
Chaden did have 20 wins last year, and she can't be blamed at all for the 4 losses. None of that was on her, so she had a good run. She's a junior this year, so we'll have her back this year and again next year. And I've heard she's throwing harder, so that'll be fun to watch in February. Caitlin Morris. Caitlin's second team outfield, first team, which is even better if you didn't know that. She led the team with a .425 batting average, which is good. And she's a senior this year. Both these ladies were leaders on the field and in the dugout. They've been together a long time, so we're expecting great things this year.
In recognition of selection to the 2025 VHSL Class 2 Softball All-State Team, first team outfield.
We're extremely proud of our softball program, extremely proud of these 2 young ladies. I do want to take a moment to thank the parents. We have some very active parents in softball. They have really worked hard to improve our facilities. Chad gave a little bit more but we couldn't do the things that we do without the parents, and they've raised these great children, and they work hard, and they represent us in the best way possible. And we look forward to watching them both this year and hopefully making a really good run.
Correct. Are you? I'm good.
He's already there.
You think they'll miss me?
Huh? Mike, you off tomorrow?
Next up, I name Ethan Trent, boys soccer coach, lives in high school, and Hunter King.
Sit there too damn long. Yeah, Lisa been texting me today and I told her I saw you. I said I spoke to her, told her that's pretty much. I give her a kiss.
You want to say a few words?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Hunter King has been in our program for 4 years, and he has been one of the heart and soul of our team. He's a great leader both on the field and in the locker room, and we're really going to miss him. I wish I could clone him so I could have him again for 4 more years. But yeah, he's been the heart and soul of our defense, and if you didn't know, defenders in soccer don't score a lot of goals. Hunter King, I think, how many, 7 or 8 headers this year that he scored, and a couple free kicks. So locking down defensively and then also scoring as a defender is something that only the truly elite defenders can really do. So I thought that was very impressive from him.
miss Hunter greatly. In addition to representing us well on the soccer field, he's also been a huge part of the youth soccer in Lebanon. Most Saturdays he can be found refereeing, which can be dangerous as a young man sometimes. Sometimes the parents can get a little too upset. So that's a service though that he, that they help provide for our young people, and so we're really appreciative of that as well. So I just want to mention that. Of course, his parents have been very supportive over the time, and this is the last one, right? So we don't have any more. So that's unfortunate because the two King boys were both pretty good, pretty solid young men. So we're going to miss them a lot.
His parents made me feel a little old right now. Hunter King, in recognition of selection to the 2025 BHSL Class II Soccer All-State Team, Second Team Defender.
Next up, we have some absentees. One is soccer, second team All-State, Chloe Dillon, and she's not here, the coach is not here tonight either. Also baseball, both of these baseball players, second team All-State, and they're away at college and continuing their baseball career, which is awesome. And that would be Nathan Phillips and Eli Breeding. So Mr. Potts is going to say a few words about those kids.
Just really quick, Chloe, I hate that Brian couldn't be here. He's watching her play volleyball right now. But we've our girls soccer program has struggled. At one time, they had a terrible coach that was really tall than me. And so Brian Dillon has done a tremendous job of helping rebuild that program, and Chloe's been a huge part of that. So for us to have an all-state girls soccer player is tremendous. And then both of these young men, these baseball players, they're both playing college baseball right now. Nathan's at Mount St. Mary's, Eli was at Alice Lloyd. Eli played yesterday in the varsity game. I think he was playing today in the varsity game. So we're really proud of what they've done, and I hate that they couldn't be here, but I did want to take a moment just to mention their accomplishments because they've been tremendous players for us and tremendous kids.
Thank you. Thank you. Good.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate you.
Okay, do we have a motion that we pay the bills and accounts? I think that's next, isn't it? Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Parsons. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any discussion? Okay, we're to the retirements and,
Yes, we do have a small list, Madam Chair, for the board to approve tonight.
and we have a motion for the resignations or retirements.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Ball. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, Dr. Hooker, you have.
Again, for new hires and transfers, we do have a small list for the board to approve tonight.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Second. Thank you, Ms. Garrett. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Okay. Madam Chair, we do have one action item tonight, and that is for the board to approve the auction items.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Garrett. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, when, is that listed when it's going to be?
October the 11th.
October the 11th, okay,
At 9 o'clock.
at 9 o'clock. And that would be at the bus garage? have any other updates?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I would like to announce tonight, I think the board has gotten tired of waiting on me to get the badges in, but the board did approve for the students to get in free to the VHSL events. Logistically, it's been a while for us to get things ready, but I'm going to announce tonight that students will be getting in free tomorrow at their home games.
Good.
At their home schools. And then once the badges come in, we'll take care of that with the schools, and we'll get all that taken care of.
Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Hooker, thank you for that. There's sales tax September, 401,237.16. The ADM as of 8/31, 3,043. Right, Dr. Hooker?
Yes.
Okay, we are to the maintenance report. Does any board member have any question or anything we need to discuss on the maintenance? Expenditure report. Would like to say that we miss Mr. Eaton this evening. He's got a new addition to his family, and we want to congratulate Mr. Eaton. And I'm sure he's enjoyed that new arrival, and we're hoping him the very, very best.
Thank Rotec for our food.
Sweet little family. Go ahead with that.
Thank Rotec for our food.
We want to tell the vocational school we appreciate the meal tonight. Good job with that.
And we turn this air conditioner down and freeze.
Like your hogs. Our next meeting is scheduled for,
It's changed.
to November the 11th.
That's due to election.
Due to the election.
That is,
Veterans Day. Okay, is that Veterans Day?
yes, that is.
Okay.
That's right. So you want to,
Election's on Tuesday, isn't it?
Yes. Do you want to, when would you all want to change it? You want to change it to that Thursday?
About the 7th?
Is that the 7th?
Or is it the 6th? It'd be the 6th.
The 6th is a Thursday, the
Okay.
7th is a Friday.
Okay,
Let's
the
do the
6th.
6th.
Do you want to do the 6th? Okay. I'll get that changed.
that changed. I'd like to thank everyone for coming this evening. Appreciate your presence. And I want to tell Dr. Hooker and our staff we appreciate what they do, and you've got some work to do. I want you to address the issues that have been brought before us, the board folks too. Wants all our students safe, and from the time they get on the bus till they get back home every evening, and we want them taken care of. Does any other board member have anything they would like to add tonight? Okay, if your calendar of events, do you have anything, Dr. Hooker?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I'll take a motion that we adjourn for tonight.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Do we have a second? Thank you, Ms. Garrett. And all in favor? Aye. Be safe going home.